Welcome to the Books and Martinis Podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
Hey, book lovers. This episode of Books and Martinis is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors. Blue Box Media, you dream it, we produce it. And Travel with Samantha Cividanes, specializing in luxury cruises. Ooh. Their support keeps the stories, authors, and conversations flowing. Don't forget to visit them and support the brands that support this podcast. Now the martinis are poured, let's get into the episode. What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody, and a very special welcome to our very special guest, Zach Diamanti. How are you, Zach? And cheers.
Zach.
Hey, cheers. How's it going, everybody?
You have to drink.
For good luck. For a great interview.
They say it's bad luck, and we're not taking any chances.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
yes.
Welcome. So on the screen and in your ears is ZS Diamanti, aka Zach.
Hello, everyone.
So excited to have you here.
We're so happy you're here.
And we actually met him at BookCon
New York.
In New York City this past April, and we finally have him on the podcast. So yay!
Yes.
And we're talking about all his amazing books today, but we did have a copy of Guard of the Garden, which was fantastic. By the way, we loved it. And we can't wait to get into all the feels, all the behind the scenes, and the process of your writing journey, and you as an author and as a person. But before we get into that, oh wait, you have a sign. Wait, did you?
Hello, yes, we did that
sign?
Before we took our.
Oh my God! Oh,
we did before we got our selfie.
That's it.
That's right.
Awesome. Yes,
I love it. Okay,
those that can see. Sorry, before you start, look at how beautiful.
Okay.
The chapter divisions are, and how cute all his stuff.
I actually drew those myself.
What?
Get out!
No way.
Yeah.
Did you even draw the turtle? Was that you?
No, I have another artist that I work with.
Wow, Zach.
For the character arts.
Multi-talented.
But yeah, I thought it was such a clever idea. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a book about a garden. I should draw a totally different plant for every chapter header, and it'll be so cute. And then I wrote 34 chapters, and then I was like, I'm an idiot. No. I had to ask all my friends. I was like, what's your favorite flower? What's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite?
Funny.
I don't know.
Why was I writing about this?
What a problem to have.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. All right. Before we even hop into the questions, let me read his bio. So Zach is the award-winning author of the Stone and Sky trilogy, an epic fantasy adventure, and the Fables of Finlestia. Okay, hope I'm saying this right. Finlestia.
Finlestia, yeah.
Finlestia.
Yeah.
Okay. Fables of Finlestia cozy fantasy series, which includes Guard in the Garden that we just showed you on screen. In 2025, Zach received the honor of being named Rocky Mountain Fiction Writer of the Year. And that's just one of the awards. I was on your website. I was like, oh my God, there's a lot here. He went to college forever and has too many pieces of paper on his wall. He is a USAF veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom and worked in ministry for over 10 years. He and his wife live in Colorado with their 4 children, where they enjoy hikes and tabletop games. I love it. I love it. Even your life is it sounds just as cozy as your books.
Yeah. Sometimes I have severe ADHD, so it's usually more chaotic than that. But
welcome. You're in the right place.
Yes, yeah, in good company.
Yes, that is us. And thank you for your service. Before we go any further, we appreciate you.
Of course,
thank
you
you.
were worth it. And honestly, it gave me so much as well. So
I love that.
And it shows in your writing. But we'll get into that.
Yes.
So why don't we kick it off? Well, we have our short little bio, and we've already shared a little bit about your life. But tell us more about who Zach Diamanti is.
Yeah. So I'm Zach. Most people call me Z because they don't know what the Z stands for.
Oh, how funny.
There's not a whole lot of routes I know of that you could go for with Z, but Zach is pretty easy. I was always people always ask me, they're like, "Oh, are you a K Zach? Are you a H Zach?" And I'm always like, "Oh, I'm just a C Zach." Because when I was growing up, I moved every other year. And so every other year I was at a new school and there was already an H Zach and there was already a K Zach. So I was just stuck with default ZAC.
Oh, look at that.
Man. And when I started emailing and I was speaking with Kelly, I think it's Kelly. Kelly's your person. She was spelling it ZAC, and I didn't really notice until the end. I was like, "Oh crap!" This whole time.
I usually answer to anything. Hey, you guy. Yeah.
Right. Call me anything. Just call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. So this was such a huge transition for you from a childhood being everywhere to being in the service to then becoming a freaking amazing author. How did that transition for you? Like, I know it's a big question.
That is a big question.
How does that happen?
Yeah. The long story, as short as I can make it, is that when I was a kid growing up, I actually really needed glasses and I didn't know it. And so growing up, I thought I was dumb. I thought I couldn't read. I couldn't get my eyes to go down to the next line. Turned out astigmatism does that to you. And I just could not read. And so growing up, I hated reading. I thought books were the worst. I just could not get around, these things. But I loved storytelling and I loved stories. We would go camping and we'd tell stories around the fire. And I loved staying up too late at night with my brother in our bunk beds doing choose your own adventure stories, with telling stories. I loved stories, but I could not get into books because of my eyes, but we didn't know it. And so growing up, my parents got me checked several times, blah, blah, blah. Military docs say, "Hey, which one can you get?" And it's always a contest, right? And you're like, "Oh, I can read, and I'd figure it out, right? Or get close enough that they're like, he's doing fine, right? Well, it wasn't until I joined the military later myself. And the doc was like, I was like, "Doc, I'm always getting headaches. Like, I don't know what's going on." And he's like, I worked in the hospital as well. And he's like, "Dude, come see me. We'll get it sorted out." So I got an eye appointment and he asked me a very different question. And this is where the power of words really landed for me. He said, a different question altogether. He said, "Which lines are blurry?" Now that is a very different question from which ones can you read? And you're like, actually all of them. And of course he was like, "Okay, let's figure that out." So eventually we figured out, dude, you need glasses. And it just blew my mind, opened my world up entirely.
What you had been missing.
What I was missing all that time. And I just started powering through books and I could not stop. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this whole world, I've been waiting." And so, of course, I'd missed 22 years of reading. So I went all the way back to, the 1920s and books. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's like 100 years. What is wrong with me?
J.R.R. Tolkien was waiting for you.
I'm like going back to Edgar Rice Burroughs and I'm going back to, H.P. Lovecraft and all these guys. And so when I actually started writing later, because after Afghanistan, I was a visual artist before. After Afghanistan, I came back a little different. I needed a different way to express myself. And I started writing. I was actually using a lot of old language. And my wife's always been a reader. And so she's always been reading contemporary and other things. And so she was like, "Yeah, this isn't a word people use anymore in writing. This is not, we're going to have to adjust some of this."
Were you using "thee" a lot and "thou shalt"?
I was using a lot of words like "fetid" and other words like that are just like totally not used.
It's funny you're saying that, because as I was reading Felton's story, I was just imagining a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks Scottish, right?
Yeah.
And then some of the words like I was like, "Oh, that's so Scottish." You know what I mean?
I was like, I could keep some of those because of fantasy, but
Absolutely. You could do whatever you want.
She was like, you should dial that back a little bit.
No, but
Clearly,
that's
you've
you
done very
though.
well with it.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
unique to you. I
totally.
mean, that's amazing.
So, what inspired you to write your first book, or the idea that you were gonna write a book?
Yeah, yeah. So I was writing. I got started writing in short stories,
Okay.
writing, horror short stories and sci-fi and some other things that I just really enjoyed. And these are like very quick one-two punch kind of things. The process of writing a short story is completely different than writing a book. But my wife and some other people had read them and they were like, "These are really good. You should really try to sell these somewhere." And so I started submitting and some of my short stories started selling and I was like, maybe I could do something like this. This is because I love
Mhm.
doing this. Why not try?
Why
And
not?
so of course, when I thought, okay, maybe I want to write a book, what should I write? Well, one of the
Mhm.
few, very, very few books I read as a kid, there's only really a handful that I could tell you about. But one of them was The Hobbit because the teacher said, you got to read this. You're going to love it because he knew I
Hmm.
hated reading. I totally loved it. I remember actually writing a story the next week called The Flobbit. Very original. No inspiration, obviously,
Wait,
at
what did they
all.
look like? What did they look like? Did they have big feet?
It was like a little monkey creature with big feet and a tail and
I love it.
anyway, no inspiration at all there. But thank God that never found, I have no idea. It probably died in a sewer somewhere at some point. But it'll never see the light of day, thank God. But it was The Hobbit, and another one that I remember reading as a kid was Redwall. Though, and these are two out of like the four books I remember actually reading as a child. That
Mhm.
and The Old Man and the Sea. Two of them were fantasy, and I was like, I've always
Mm.
wanted. I always loved that the creativity you can have in fantasy, and I was like, let's do fantasy. And so I started writing Stone and Sky, and it took me about 2.5 years to actually write the book and I eventually handed it off to a friend because I was like because my wife was like waiting to read it, and I was like,
Wait, you
um,
gave it to your friend
I
before your wife?
yeah, I did.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I was like, wait, but this friend, I know she's very detail oriented, so I was like, go clean it up for me, like make sure find all the errors, right, and then I'll give it to Brittany, my wife, and she did, and I was like, oh, thank you. And she was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And I was like, okay,
Ah,
okay, cool. So I
that's
gave
what
it
you
to
want
my
to hear.
wife. Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
And she said, I remember she finished reading it. And I said, so what do you think? And she was like, well, you could do this. And I was like, oh,
Ah.
snap, what? And now as a guy who is very ADHD and has tried and dabbled in all the artistic things, my wife is very good at telling me no.
Good.
And
Yes,
telling
that's
me
her
that
job.
Reining
you
you in.
gotta
Yep.
stop,
Hmm.
rein it in,
Yeah,
right?
that's her
But she
job.
was like, you could do this. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That was a completely different answer. Let's think about this. So we had to do a lot of family mathematics. And eventually I was like, you really think I could quit my job and do this? And she was like, you got about a year is what we can do. And then if you can start selling books in a year, then we could probably do this. So
Wow, with
quit my job and did it.
the
You did
validation, because
well.
you know she's gonna, keep it real with you and be raw with you and be like, no, you can't do
Totally.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That
She
that
had told me
validation
plenty.
support is so important. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah, it's pretty
amazing.
And
wild.
so that was your first book. Then to right now, already published. How many books under your belt?
So I have 9 books out now
Hmm.
and 10th on the way coming in December. And that's we've published. So I took that whole first year and didn't publish anything.
Oh,
Instead,
Oh,
what I did was I built everything. I built my author website. I started a social media. I started a readers list. I started doing all of the things and building all of the things before the first book came out. And it was almost like to the day, a year that Stone and
really?
Sky came out and it released. And when it did, we never looked back. And
Oh,
that book came out August 29th, 2023. So we are
Oh, it's coming
almost
up again.
Almost on its
3 years,
anniversary.
almost 3
Wait.
years to the day.
And when's
And
Assassins come out? Assassins comes out.
Assassin came out in June, yeah. And Mages and Mayhem comes out in December. And so
Wow.
in 3 years, I've published 9 books, including an anthology that I ran with 22 different authors. And we worked with 8 different illustrators and 5 different narrators called Honor, which is just an incredible book. And all of that we've done in the last 3 years. So
How?
it has
I just want
been
to know how. That's so much.
Okay, so remember that severe ADHD thing? Right.
Yeah.
So I don't have good boundaries or work-life balance.
Earth was only the first chapter. Let's get off this rock together, y'all. My debut novel, Between Beasts and the Stars, comes out October 13th, 2026. I'm so excited about this. Between Beasts and the Stars is sci-fi fantasy on a collision course with a Brooklyn mom discovering an ancient force rising within her, fighting against her feral divine power and navigating an alien world where she must reclaim her desire and destiny. She is dropped 32 million light years away from Earth in the Phantom Galaxy on a planet named Hull and encounters a whole slew of aliens, some sexy, some scary, but she's fighting for her life, trying to get back to her kids on planet Earth. So my ebook is available now on Amazon for pre-sale. Check it out. And she lands October 13th.
However, we are over the last 3 years, we have really kind of figured out some tricks and tactics and systems that work well for me. So, yeah.
How does a day in Zach's life, in the writing part of your life, how does that look? Are you that person that sits from like 9 to 12, or how does it look for you?
Yeah, that is a great question. And honestly, it's different every day, which I know sounds weird, but it's the way my brain is wired, and I have a really hard time getting on structure. But this is why I have like 3 assistants who help me with things now, because eventually things just got so busy. It was like, okay, but how do I continue to finish writing the books? And
how do you write?
Because that's the part that I need to do, because nobody else can tell the story that I have in my brain, right? And in my heart. And so a lot of it has been feast and famine, where it's like, okay, I'm going to write, and then I'll write for a week and knock out 20,000 words. And I've got the first 20,000. It's usually that 20,000 mark that always gets me for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I'll get through that.
You stop at 20,000?
Yes, almost every time it kills me. I don't know why. So I'll get to the 20,000 words, and I'll have it all plotted out and ready to go. I know where I need to go. But my brain is always like hyper focused on where I want to get to, the climax of the story. And so I have to almost like get away from it for a second and then come back to it so that I have like, okay, let's go put that down for a minute so that I can come back to it fresh. And then funny enough, the first book Stone and Sky took me 2.5 years to write. And arguably it's my worst book, and that's fair. Like it's your first book, and you're learning, right? It's fair.
Which is in your opinion, which one is your work of art? That one book that is
favorite.
Somebody comes up to you and tells you, show me your best book. I mean, we know that books get better as time goes by, but still one of them has like all your soul in it. Which one is that one?
I want to answer that one, but all right, fine.
They're not allowed.
It's like asking, because it's like asking who's your favorite child, right? You don't have a favorite child.
Well, I only have one daughter, so it's kind of an easy. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
Yeah, she has them wrapped around her
fingers.
The
boys are coming for you.
I'm a sucker. Yeah. No, I always tell them it's day by day. I don't know how you doing. What, you get all your homework done? You get your chores are looking good. You're my favorite.
No problem. You're my favorite. Yeah. I agree. I have 3. I hear you.
Yeah, you get it. Right?
Okay. Yes. Which one surprised you the most?
Oh, that's a good question.
Impressed you. Okay. Well, wait, but I want his favorite. So
I
you're
was
Wait,
like, oh,
favorite
wait.
you
I
guys
don't
are
think
express.
he's
getting me off the
answering that.
hook. I was like, you guys are getting me off the
No,
hook.
no,
This is
it's our
good. Okay,
ADHD. We're in different roads, but we're
that's
still coming
true.
back to you.
All right, fair enough. How about I answer it like this? I think Garden in the Garden was absolutely um maybe my best book
Okay.
altogether, all around. And not that I think that's in an objective um stance, right? Because I know how real it is. And honestly, the cozy fantasies are all so very real, which is interesting. And I'll come back to that in a second. But Garden of the Garden, I actually wrote in a month and a half. Um, like I said, Stone and Sky took me 2.5 years. It was my first book. I was figuring out the process, figuring out how to write a book. Every other book has actually taken me 3 months or less, except for Mages and Mayhem. And that is mostly due to the busyness of my schedule and the fact that we released two other books this year, all while I was trying to write Mages Mayhem, all while we were running two Kickstarters and fulfilling two
And
other
the events,
Kickstarters
because that's all I've been
and
seeing. You're
the
doing
events.
events.
And the
Yes.
fact that you're a
So
husband and a father.
Yep.
totally. So the fact that all of those things contributed to Mages of Mayhem taking about 4.5 months, that's definitely a different beast. But every other book took me less than three months to write. Garden in the Garden was a month and a half. I think it would just tapped into something in me that was just so like directly linked to my heart and the way that I was uh things that I had been dealing with for about 10 years. It
Yeah.
was like the dam burst and I just
It
got
was
to let it
therapeutic for you.
all out. Right. And so
Yeah.
arguably it's my best book. And I think on an
Okay.
objective level, it probably is. However,
Mm.
uh, I think Wagons and Wyverns may be my most fun book. And it is about a
Ooh.
goblin with crippling anxiety. And you know why I wrote it? Because after wrote Garden in the Garden, I had crippling anxiety. I thought, oh my gosh, I just wrote this book in a month and a half. I think I just wrote the best book I may ever write in my entire life. And I'm like, I'm only 30, whatever. I was
You've hit your
37 at the
pinnacle.
time, right? I was like, that was the best book I'm ever gonna write. What am I gonna
Oh
do for the
no.
rest of
Now
my
what?
life? Right? Yeah,
Right.
like, and so I had crazy anxiety, which is why Wagons and Wyverns and this goblin with crippling anxiety. Actually, that's the picture right there.
Yeah.
And I get people, I first tattoo of one of my books actually comes from Wagons and Wyverns. Somebody
Really?
came somebody came up to me just this weekend to show me a tattoo of Zarni the goblin from Wagons and Wyverns that they had just gotten because
Oh. Mm.
he's so relatable. And
Mm-hmm.
I get people all the time. He's my spirit animal. Like I'm a goblin with crippling anxiety. And I'm
What
like,
a
I get it.
feeling as an
I get it.
author to get
Right.
that comment, right?
Totally.
Oh, how
And
beautiful.
so it's hard to say which one is the best because each one
Yeah.
resonates different with people.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
get people who are like, "Oh man, Assassin in the Ale House is my favorite."
Mm.
One of my editors, I just got back the proofread for Mages and Mayhem, and she said, "I think this one's actually my favorite now." And I was like, "There you
Oh,
go."
that's what you
So
want to hear.
yes, so objectively, possibly Garden in the Garden. Subjectively, man, it's hard to choose.
It's
There's
hard.
there's
Yeah.
different vibes,
And
right?
you're just getting started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have
You're
the
gonna be
whole
like
world ahead
J.R.
of you.
Martin. You're gonna be like
I mean,
Martin.
yeah, I mean it's so funny because I felt so crazy about that with Garden in the Garden, and it came out March last year. So
Mhm.
it's still a fresh book. It's still
It's
a new
still
book.
fresh. And I
Um,
remember seeing it online and I was looking
yeah,
at it. And then when we saw you at BookCon, I was like, I remember that book.
yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And
So,
And
just to have you here is amazing.
yeah, it's so
yeah,
fun.
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
So you have somebody that wants to write a book, right?
yeah.
They're readers and now they want to write a book, but they have ADHD, they have a family, and they have anxiety. What's your advice to them? How do
To
you
get
make all
started.
that work?
Yeah.
What is it that you do to shut the world out and allow your voices to come out,
Yeah.
pen to paper?
Yeah, that's great. My severe ADHD often has the pendulum effect that a lot of other people do, that gets me into hyper focus. So so I don't answer my emails. I don't answer my social media notifications. Heck, I text messages from friends 3 to 5 business days. I
You're
mean,
just
I
sitting
get
there.
super hyper focus on these things, but also you have kids, you have you know a family that you got to take care of in a house, right? And um when it comes down to it, it's really just stick-to-itiveness, right? It is
Hmm.
I'm just going to get my butt in the chair and
You're
write the
right.
book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's all sorts of like tactical tricks and strategies you could put together. One of the things is I actually won't work. So where we're sitting is my library
Mhm.
in the house, and this is where we'll film a lot of social media and stuff in this room, sure. But I actually don't work in this room. I only write in this room. It's the only thing I do. There's a desk in this room that has my computer on it sometimes, but that's only for writing mode. Or if we're doing interviews, because the bookshelf is
It's so
too pretty
cute.
to,
It's so
yeah,
pretty.
I
it's
agree.
too
I
pretty
agree.
not
It'd be
to
a
have in
waste
there, right?
to not have
It'd
it
be a
back there.
waste, right? But this sitting here, I only write. We have a different room where we call it the room of fulfillment, where I sign books, and my assistant reads emails to me, because I can't even read my emails now. I shut that out, right? I was like, oop. So
Okay.
it's actually auditory for me while I'm signing books is the only way we get through my emails, but it works. And so finding these little systems and tricks that actually work for you to be functional and to do the things, uh, it helps so much. And so separating out spaces for me was huge.
Mm.
So only writing in here or at coffee shops. I also find that I'm a very tactile person too. So you guys have these really nice headphones on right now. When I put those headphones on, sometimes I even forget to put music on. But when the headphones are on, I've actually, Pavloved myself that when the headphones are on, I'm in story mode. And that's what I think about. And
Oh.
so it's really interesting how your brain works. If you can set up spaces for yourself that actually get you into writer mode, it's going to be hugely helpful. But you have
That's
to
so funny you
train those
mentioning that.
things.
I love
You
that.
Yeah.
have to train those things into your life, right?
Because
To
I
see
wear my
what works.
headphones. I wear my headphones just to focus too sometimes, and I don't play music. Like I'll play it in music, and then I'll just turn it off, and the headphones will just
Yeah.
stay on.
Yeah. Sometimes I just forget the
It
music. I
mutes the
just like put
world.
them on and I'm like, and then I just start going, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like an hour later, I forgot to turn the music on. Right.
Oh, I love
So I,
that.
I want to back up a little bit. Okay, so on your
Yeah.
journey, for our writers and our authors listening, what was your querying process like? You do that by yourself.
I love that question. It's actually one of my favorite questions. All right, so uh, oh, real quick before I forget, one more big tactical tip.
Yes.
Go for walks.
Mm.
Seriously. Severe ADHD, by getting your blood flowing, like, man, when I'm walking, like I go and walk, have a little bit of exercise, man, it makes everything come back into focus. And you know what I wear when I go walking? Those headphones. So I'm in
Mm.
creativity mode. And by the
Oh, I
time I
love
come back
that.
and sit down, boom, we're ready
You're
to go.
ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Love
So
that.
the
Yes.
querying process. Sorry, I was like,
I love that.
people
Yes.
people who are
No, but
like
that's
me are gonna
important.
need that one, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. And there's a
Um,
lot of us out there.
yeah, right. Querying process. I love that you
Yes.
asked this because, so here's the deal. My wife said you could do this. And we did a lot of family mathematics, right? And figured out, okay, you could probably make it with all our savings and the things that we've done. You can,
Mm.
and her job and that kind of stuff. We were like, you could probably make it for about a year, but then after that, we got to start selling books. So I started doing a lot of research. I figured out how to write a book, and I was like, okay, we got that. And I fine tuned my process through writing book 2 and 3, and you fine tune it. But once I figured it out, I was like, okay, we can do that. But now I got to actually figure out, how do we sell books? Like, do I go the trad
Mm.
route? Do I go the indie route? Which way are we going here? And while I was doing that, I took about 1 week to query. And as I was doing that, I hated every second. And I thought to myself, I would rather be dragged behind a car than go through the process of cold querying to agents and publishers. And immediately I knew this is the worst
This is not for
option for me.
you.
I will not like this, especially because, you go through, oh, well, it might take me 9 months to actually get an agent to finally say, hey, we should chat. And then it might take us another year, 2 years to actually sell a book. And then it might take another year or two after that just to publish the book. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just quit
No, you're
my
on a
job.
timeline.
I
Yeah.
just quit my job and I
I
got to
don't have
feed
2 years for
kids. I
you.
don't have that time for you,
Mm-hmm.
nerds.
Right.
So at that point, and I knew that I'm very entrepreneurially wired. I'm very creative. I like to go and figure out how things work. And so I knew that was going to work. That was going to be way better for me. And just
Representing
the way that
yourself than
my
somebody
brain
else.
is wired, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, this is the way to go. So I actually only ever sent out 6 queries. And I did it all in that 1 week, and I said, this is stupid, and never did it again. um, Now, in fairness, if it makes you feel better, guys, I got plenty of rejection letters when I was doing short stories and stuff like that. So I had already kind of like gotten past that. And
Okay.
so short stories, you get rejections all the time in short stories. And I learned very early on with short stories, it's all about fit. It's not that your story is bad. It's just that it's the right fit in the right space. And so learning that early on, even before I even started writing books, was a really good thing. And so honestly, when those 6 queries came back, oh, I don't know, maybe only 4 of them came back. Who knows? At this point, I don't even remember. I didn't even care. Half of them probably didn't even come back before I was even published. So there you go.
Look at that.
But like the fact was, I didn't query very long at all. Now, do
You
I have an
just
agent
went straight in.
now? Yes,
Mhm.
sure, I have an agent now. Do I have trad publishing deals done now? Yes, of course. And do we have other ones kind of in the works? Of course, those things happen, but it's because of everything that I built over time. And people recognizing, oh, whoa, something's going on here, or maybe we should have some chats. And meeting people along the way at conferences, writers
Mhm.
events, and stuff like that, right? So um, it's all about what kind of was built. And now, I mean, I guess for the last year or so, we've been doing other deals with publishers and stuff like that that weren't a concern before.
Oh,
So
how
really it was the
exciting.
marketing. The marketing is what helped you and
Yeah.
pushed it.
No,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
oh, that is so wonderful. So now when you move forward
Hmm.
and you're looking at your next step,
Yeah.
right? Where do you see yourself? Like this has
Such a
been
weird.
the last, well, okay.
Where do you see
So
yourself in 5
three,
years?
well,
Are you
I was
kidding
going
me?
for
Look,
three. I
this
was
this was
saying three.
3.5 years. I don't even know what I did. Like, how did we get here?
How
Right?
did 3 years happen, right?
Right.
So can you imagine if those next 3 years just double
Oh man.
what
Yeah, I
these
don't
last
even.
3 years? You
Yeah.
how do you find yourself? How will you split yourself into so many beings
Yeah.
as you are now, right? Because I know the writing is the core thing that keeps
Yeah.
you going, but you
Correct.
have your family that's also core.
Hmm.
But then you also have all these events because I see you on the
Totally.
go all the time.
Yeah.
Are you going to in an ADHD mind, right? I'm worried
Hmm.
for you because that's how
Yeah.
I function.
Yep.
How do we limit ourselves to I'm only going to do X amount of events. I'm only
Yep.
going to do X.
Correct.
Like, how do you see that coming up for you? Or do you even think about that? Or you're just going, living the moment?
Oh, we think about that all the time. So I love this question
Okay.
because the fact is actually I'm at kind of at the precipice of a little bit of a shift in seasons right now. And
Mm,
so in life we have seasons. And for
right.
the last 3 to 4 years, I have been in grind crazy mode to do all of the things. Now, over time, as you continue to build and work and your operations are starting to get bigger and bigger and
Mm-hmm.
bigger, you start
Exactly.
bringing in other people to help you with different things. Like I mentioned, I have three different assistants who do three different jobs, like three different things, right? One is digital only. She doesn't live here in Colorado, right? So I don't see her every day, but she helps me with a whole bunch of random things just in the digital sphere, right? I've got
Okay.
one who's here now to help me. I've got a son old enough who's moved out, and I've got teenagers who are in high school, so they're super busy all the time. So my help, signing books and shipping them all out and that kind of stuff has dwindled a little bit as people
Okay.
are, and so I've got
Sure.
an assistant here now who helps me with that kind of stuff. But she also helps me with inventory and stuff like that because she's in such uh, there's all sorts of things going on now. There's so many moving parts. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have help from other people in order
Mm,
to get through. Because I can't, like I said, I don't even
It's
read my
physically
emails anymore.
impossible.
I
Right.
don't even read them anymore. But we figured out a system that said, hey, okay, if I'm signing books, I'm stuck here anyways. I'm going to be signing books.
I
So
can
I
listen
can't
to
run
you.
away. I can't run away from emails, which is my go-to. I can't run away from
Right.
the emails. I'm a captive audience, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, perfect. This is how we're going to get through your emails. And that's how it works, right? I've got two giant whiteboard calendars, right? So we've got a rotating 2-year calendar all the time. And so
Okay.
it keeps events and publication dates and Kickstarter dates and all those
Mm.
things in place so we can be planning around them and we can have them visually in front of us all the time. Um, I have a guy who helps me with social media stuff now because I he comes over to the house.
That'll consume your time.
Yeah, it'll consume your
mm-hmm.
time, right? He comes over to the house. He's like, "Okay, here's our list of the things that you wanted to make." Or like I'll be texting him throughout the week, and he'll be like, "Oh, this is a good idea. We should do this." And he'll bring a list of his own, and we'll knock out a bunch of social media content, once a week, and he'll go and edit it and take care of business, right?
Mm.
So like you start piecing in all these different people to help you do all the things, and I get it that it costs money to do that because you got to pay people and you want to take care of
Sure.
your people who are on your team
Absolutely.
because
Mm-hmm. They
you love
represent
them
you.
and they love you and you want to
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
great relationships, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I get that it costs money to do that, but that's why it's a stepping stone thing. You've got to build on all these things. I didn't hire all of them all at once. In fact,
Right.
one of them we only hired recently, right at the beginning of the summer, right? Like
Okay.
because it was another shift in the things, right? And so because of that, we recognized, okay, the writing thing is the most important thing now, right?
Right.
It's always actually been the most important thing. However, you have to do all the other things in order to build towards a space where it can be the only thing or the majority thing. Because once you have a whole bunch of other people with you, all of a sudden you're like, oh, we got to keep paying for everybody. So we got to keep
Oops.
having books and releasing things so that we have more to continue to grow and continue to
Sure.
move things
For it to
forward,
be
right?
sustainable.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the word, sustainable. And so at the end
Mm.
of the day, if I was still doing all the things right now by myself,
You
I
couldn't
would have
write.
died. I would have died like a year ago. Like who could have
Right.
kept up with all that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't.
yeah. Impossible, right? And so it's all a process, right? And so right now we're like I just said, we just hired somebody else on because we're kind of taking another shift in season where it's going to kind of open up a lot of different avenues because if you run yourself ragged, and look, running yourself ragged is good. Look, I'm all about hard work. You should absolutely work hard because if you don't work hard, guess what? You're not putting your best effort in. And
Mm.
frankly, how far do you really expect to go? So I'm
Right.
all about hard work. However, 3 years down the line, you're still doing all the hard work and you don't actually have anybody helping you kind of guide, like put some guide rails in. Look, because ADHD, man, we'd be like, oh, we could do this, 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 this. Man, you need some people to go, we're hang on, time out.
Yeah.
We're doing this. We can make some adjustments, but like we're barely keeping up with this, right? So you got to set up some guide rails for yourself and get people around you who can tell you to tell you. Like I said, my social media guy, he comes and he's like, okay, these are the videos we got to do, because I'll be like, hey man, let's talk about it. No. These are the videos. We got to get them done so we can do the things, right? Exactly. You need to bring people in who will be able to do, like, who you can trust and who understand your vision, right? Your vision is key. If they understand your vision and they can get behind your vision, and then you can trust them to actually stop you and say, okay, great. Let me ask this. Let's make sure we got this sorted. Okay, now move on. Let's go to the next thing.
I love that. I love
Long
that. You've
story
done
short,
this
get help.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to
really.
keep writing, right? Because if not, then
correct.
Again,
that's the dream, to be a
full
time author. What you're doing right now is the dream for everyone.
Yeah, what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Yes, I've been doing it for the last year, everyone. No.
Sure. Okay. I just started this wonderfully.
I told you Mages Mayhem took me a long time, right?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Mages Mayhem, because it's coming up. And I know, I'm pretty sure one of your folks will be like, hey, you didn't talk about the book. Let's talk about the book.
That's right. We should talk about
All right. So why don't you tell us about it? How did it come about? The I guess the summary of the book, and when it's coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mages of Mayhem, I actually have a test print. So if you're watching, you guys can see. Here's the test print. It looks so pretty. Yeah,
it's really pretty.
I have one that's marked up with some sticky notes, because we just got the proofread print back from my proofreader. But Mages of Mayhem, it's all about a librarian who wants to rise through the librarian ranks, as one does in a fantasy world, and until they tell her that they don't think she has enough life experience. So they send her off to an isolated island where there's a mage tower. And there at the mage tower, it's her task to help the mages there establish a library with all the resources and materials they have. And let's just say they are not very good at it.
Mayhem.
So she's
That's the mayhem.
Yes, and she's on a mission.
Yep, she's on a mission, man. She wants to get it done as fast as she can so she can go home. But it's quite the endeavor. So it's a lot of fun.
What creativity.
It's a whole lot of fun.
So for our folks listening that may not know, what is a mage?
Yes, a mage. So it's kind of like a wizard. So in my world, mages are a little bit different than a wizard. A wizard, there's very specific wizards. There's only a dozen of them in the world, right? But mages are people who can practice magic in the world, and they can utilize the different elements, and they can utilize the magic that you can find in the stones, and actually perform magic. There are a lot of people in the world of Finlestia that don't have magic, but the mages have established this mage tower, or what they call the wisdom tower, where I kind of tell people it's like Charles Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. So there's a bunch of kooky mages of all ages at this mage tower, trying to learn how to control magic and how to control their own magic.
So did the X-Men inspire this book?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the school. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And when does it come out?
It comes out December 1st. Yeah, we just finished the Kickstarter for the special edition version, which, I guess we're on camera, so I can show you guys this one. The special edition version,
that's beautiful.
Which is so beautiful. I love these special editions that are just foil. We've got full color interior art pieces and stuff on the inside. It's honestly ridiculous. Wow. So yes, we did. We just finished the Kickstarter for the special edition of Mages Mayhem. We actually funded over $136,000 for the campaign, which is just a testament to how much people absolutely love this series and how personal it is for so many people. Like I mentioned, I got a tattoo. Somebody recently showed me their tattoo of a goblin with crippling anxiety. I mean, how cool is that? Um,
That's everything right there.
yeah, this book, the series has really resonated with people, and that Kickstarter, of course, is just a wonderful testament to that. But it comes out in December, and I'm so excited.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Kickstarter to release is always is the long haul of doing all the fulfillment and getting everything ready and getting everything ready for release, right? So
exciting. So exciting. So
You figured it all out.
Now that we know that Mages and Mayhem is coming out December 1st, I do have a side question also, because it's just popping up in my head. So we were talking about your book, Guard of the Garden. Would you ever do a veterans tour for this book?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this book is so personal to you and, really speaks to your life and all your experiences. And then you have the very touching author's note in the end where you talk about being a veteran and things to look for to assist other veterans. Would that be something that you would do?
Absolutely, 100%. We've actually talked about it a few times here, and the team and I, just because obviously it's so real. The Garden was so real. PTSD and depression and isolation in the process of going from warrior one day to civilian the next. Just being one of the most difficult transitions. And I go to the VA regularly, right? So I get it. I'm there with everybody else, right? And so we absolutely have talked about it. It's all a matter of figuring out how logistically to make things happen like that, right? And so, and then again, of course, it's, the connections that people who know, a lot of the events that we do are people we've connected with because they go, oh my gosh, we would love for you to come and do these events. And so if we get the right connection in the VA circuit or the veteran circuit, we'll definitely be planning some stuff. I know we've had a few veteran events that have reached out. And so it's a matter of trying to figure out how we do that logistically.
I see that in your future.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's definitely something we talk about regularly.
Good.
Well, on that note, we want to thank you so much for being our guest today. You are just so wonderful, and your journey and your stories.
You've been so inspirational.
And the impact that you've been making. Thank you so much for your work and for sharing yourself with the world. For where can our listeners and our watchers find you, by the way?
Yeah, this is great. So if you guys love fantasy, if you love cozy, if you love epic adventure, you can actually find me at freefantasyfiction.com. So you can actually get 7 free stories about characters that you meet in the world of Finlestia, in the Stone and Sky series, in the Fables of Finlestia. A lot of character crossovers there, but you could get 7 free stories about characters at freefantasyfiction.com. And I give you that one because it's way easier to spell than zsdmonty.com. But if it makes you feel better, it is attached to the same website. So if you go to freefantasyfiction.com, you'll also be on the zsdmonty.com website. So you can find all my social medias there as well.
Love it. Okay, let's do one last cheers to you.
Cheers, yes.
Zach.
To what's to come.
Cheers to you.
Thank you for your time
and future.
And sharing your inspiration and your wisdom with us. We appreciate it. And we congratulate you on all you've accomplished in such a short time. That's pretty amazing. So cheers to you.
Appreciate it.
Everyone listening, make sure you check out Zach's websites. We'll have it in the summary below. Check out his books, read them, devour them, review them. Reviews are important. And thank you so much for listening to the Books and Martinis podcast. We'll see you next time.
That's wonderful. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Zach. Thank you again.